Hey, party people. Welcome back to the podcast. I say it's a podcast, but I just sit here and ramble for a while. It's more like a blog, a vlog, a voice log instead of a video log. Anyways, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about my voice acting history. As you can tell, I'm very inept at it. So since I was young, I noticed that hey, now that I think about it, I've probably told this story multiple times on the channel. But who cares, right? Anyways, so when I was younger, around the age of 10 or 12, somewhere around there, I started noticing that anime characters sounded like other anime characters. Like, Duo Maxwell sounded kind of like Inuyasha. And I started noticing that kind of thing, and I was like, that's odd. And at the time, I was already into musicals and plays, so probably closer to 12 anyways. But I had asked my parents, hey, why does that person sound like this person? And they're like, oh, well, that's because they're a voice actor. They have the same voice. And I was explained how that works, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to do that. And I've been trying. I do still want to do robotics engineering and maybe cardiology one day. But voice acting is like a big passion for me, because as a overweight child that wanted to be the leading roles in all these musicals and plays, I got typecasted a lot because of my size, because of my voice, because of how I carry myself on stage. I always get the, I'm very prim and proper, top hat, monocle, top hat kind of character. And, but for a long while, I was told, hey, you need to learn to act with your whole body. You're doing great with the voice, but you gotta move your body, express with the entire thing. And that kind of sunk in deep, and I even still do that today. Even right now, as I'm doing this, I'm waving my hands around and moving. But yeah, so I've been trying to get back into focusing on my voice, just so I can do voiceover stuff. But anyways, so yeah, I looked into it. I used to, it's kind of cringy now, but I used to sit and record little things into my phone where I'd be like a certain video game character that I saw, like the Black Knight from Fire Emblem, and I'd be like, do you wish to die? Because that was like close to the original GameCube Black Knight, not this new one that's like, are you ready to die? Mwaha! Gah! But yeah, so I used to do stuff like that, and I'd be like, Vet Mignana looks dead sexy in a miniskirt. Or, not Vet. Vet Mignana said that. I meant to say, Colonel Mustang looks dead sexy in a miniskirt. But yeah, I used to do stuff like that all the time in my phone, and it was really cringy, and I even found those old files on a transfer from one of my old phones. And it sounds terrible from the cell phone quality. But yeah, so I did that for a while, and eventually I got to go to my first anime convention, which was A-Kon 22, I believe? I think so. Yeah, it was 22, because I was like, hey, in 3 more years, it'll be 25. Pardon me. But while I was there, I got to meet a lot of people. Brentalfloss was there. That was pretty cool. He's not voiceover, but he is a singer. And I am still deeply into singing. I am horribly out of practice. And people are like, oh, you can't be out of practice. Yeah, you can. You can because you don't sit there and think about, well, I need to hit this note exactly. Because, like I said, musicals and stage, I was in voice lessons for almost 10 years. I even took piano, and for about half a year I was taking guitar, just to add to my repertoire. But yeah, I'm a very dramatic person now because of such things. But yeah, so yeah, I felt like I was always typecasted. I learned about voice acting, and I was like, it doesn't matter what I look like. It don't matter what you look like. It don't matter what you wear. How many rings you got on your finger? We don't care. No, we don't care. Sorry, I know that's Disney. That probably sounded terrible too, because like singing for fun and singing to hit those notes are completely different. Because when you're singing for fun, it's just saying the lyrics. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, so because it just matters what you sound like, I was like, hey, I can do that. I can be a main character with that. I don't have to be the side character that comes out and is like, you must come with us, son. We are the swans, and you, the ugly duckling, are actually our baby swan. What a twist, eh? Or, I was Colonel Hothy in Jungle Book Jr., so I was like, oh, we must be very regimental and it's because of my size and the blustery sound to my voice that they could do that. But I'm not normally blustery. Needed some water and I splashed myself in the face. Anyways, so yeah, I went to ACON 22, met Bernal Floss, met Kyle Abear, a few other people. I don't remember exactly who. I did meet Amy Howard Wilson there, and she's been in the voiceover gig for quite a while. She got lucky because she was a receptionist somewhere, and they basically got a phone call that asked if anybody wanted to be into voice acting, and she was like, I'll do it. I mean, that's a very abridged version of how she told that story, but yeah, she was Nova from the original Star Blazers. Man, I need a lot of water today. Probably because I've broken my voice talking for over 6 hours before this. Anyways, so yeah, I took notes. I was like, okay, this is good stuff. And just before going there, I had watched on DVD D in Angel, and I heard through the actor commentary about Greg Ayres. Greg Ayres or Chris Ayres? Greg Ayres. Yeah. I had heard about Greg Ayres, how he became a voice actor, and how he literally walked into Funimation and said, hey, can you guys give me a audition? And they were like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Basically. Again, I'm highly abridging what was actually said and done. You know what? I'm going to get some more water so I don't ruin my voice. And I was like, that is an awesome story. All right. So I called Funimation. I was 15 or 16 at the time. I don't remember. But I was like, yes, I would like to ask for an audition. And they were like, oh, well, okay. What you can do is either put your name on this audition list and we'll let you know whenever it comes up. Or you can send us a a voice demo, and we'll put it on file, and our directors will hear it and suggest you for projects. And I was like, okay, and at the time I didn't know what a voice demo was, or what to do with it, or what to put on it, and I'm still a little bit lost on what exactly to put on it, because it's supposed to be like, hey, pick your best things that you've ever done, and it's like, what if you haven't done anything yet? And it's always a little hard, and I never really get a specific answer when I ask other voice actors, and they're like, oh, just put what you think is good. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not in the business yet. That being said, I rambled a little bit, put that out as a vocal demo thing. And a few months later, still nothing happened. I had completely forgotten that I had even put up a fake vocal reel. Fake, quote unquote. But, yeah, I get an email from... I probably should cut that out. One sec. Anyway, so I get an email from an employee at Funimation, and it basically states, hey, we have auditions going on for this project and this project, and we've got your vocal reel on file in case you can't make it in for auditions. That was the gist of it. And I was like, oh, okay. And at the time, one of them was Fafnir something. I want to say it was Fafnir in the Azure, but I don't remember. And back then I used to delete emails as soon as I got them and read them and memorized them. And then the other one was for Dead Man Wonderland, which Chris Patton was the vocal director for that. And yeah, so I get this email. It talks about it. I'm like, oh, hey, cool. Wait a minute. This is senior year in high school, because at this time I was in senior year in high school. And I was like, well, I'm told that this won't happen until summer, so I didn't think anything of it. And lo and behold, I get this email that says, hey, congratulations, you're in the callbacks with 10 other people for the role of Ganta Igarashi. And upon hearing this, I was like, yes, oh, this is amazing, this is awesome, I have to look at who this is. So I googled it, Ganta Igarashi, found out about Dead Man Wonderland, didn't read it because it wasn't out in the States yet. It was a bunch of those illegal translations, or scanlations, I guess. And I did wait until DMW got over to the States to actually read it, but I read wiki articles about the character and what he does and all that, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Oh, he's the main character. Oh, he's the lead. Oh, this is awesome. My first ever audition, and I get to be the lead. Wait a minute, when are the callback dates? And I looked, and the callback was right in the middle of finals. And I was devastated because I couldn't decide between finals or the audition. And finally, I said to myself that I would go for my finals and hope that the callbacks liked my original thing. It didn't go as planned, and I ended up not getting the role of Gonta Igarashi. Oddly enough, it went to Greg Ayres, the guy that inspired me to try for voice acting. And I was in shock, really. I was upset. I had told other voice actors about this at the time, after the show aired, of course, so it wasn't like, hey, this show is out, everybody go see it. Oh, wait, it's not, it's just in production, or anything like that. But, once it aired, I told some voice actors about it, and they were like, well, why didn't you go for the audition then? And I was like, because I thought that my schooling was more important. And to this day, that choice haunts me, because I could have been Gonta. I could have been the lead. And I mean, I wouldn't have a high school diploma, so that's one thing. I would definitely suck. I'd have to get a GED, and I don't know any voice actors that have that as their highest thing. Most of them are like, oh, I studied theater at OU, at Oklahoma University, and got a major in it, and my doctorate is out, and blah, blah, blah. No, not really, but, I mean, that's what it feels like sometimes. So, yeah, I was upset that I missed out on that. And so I asked to be put on the waiting list again, because that's what you have to do, and they said, oh, well, it'd be about 6 months. Didn't hear anything. I called, I emailed, didn't hear anything. Call, email. It was a daily thing, sometimes multiple times a day. Didn't hear anything. Eventually, after about 3 months of this, I gave up. And that's when I started going to college. I tried to focus on college, didn't really think about voice acting stuff. Got into YouTube, at where I had this tiny little desk microphone that was awful. It picked up everything, and I had free software that let you record, and it was super choppy. It was really bad. So, eventually, I went to a couple more conventions, met some more people, and people like Rachel Messer, and Kira Buckland, and they were like, oh, yeah, we got famous, and this wasn't at the same time, but I'm just saying, we got famous by doing stuff from home, online, with our own microphones, and I was like, you can do that? And they were like, yeah, and then I had heard a story from somebody, I don't remember who, but it was about the kid that played Aang in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Apparently, he did everything from home. And I was like, that's ridiculous. That is amazing. That is awesome. I gotta try that. So, the microphone I'm currently using is the same condenser microphone I've been using for about 2.5 years now. I definitely need to get a new one. That is for certain. But yeah, this was my first microphone. And I'm still using it to this day. And I got into the not voice acting club, Voice Actors Guild. I think that's what it was. They've shut down since, but I did a few things. Well, a few things. I auditioned for a lot of things there. Didn't ever really get a hit. I sent another just random talking demo reel to Viz Media at one point, and they're like, hey, we like your voice, we think you'd be great as Saitama from One Punch. And I was like, because at the time, I had heard about this show, I didn't know what they were going to do with it, and I was like, wait, what? Saitama, what? And they're like, yeah, we think your voice is great, but your quality sucks. We need you to move to San Francisco for 3 months. And I didn't have the funds. It later turned out that my mom said to me after I told her this story, hey, if you had told me, I would have found a way to get the money. And I was just like, I wish you had told me that at the time. But yeah. And since then, I've gotten one project that has yet to come out. The first part did come out, but it was only for private viewing. And we're not allowed to actually say what it is yet until the full episode comes out. I did get another thing, but it has my recording has yet to be used for anything. Stop it. I said stop it, and you heard the little scratchy noise because my computer, despite running and me talking, likes to shut off every 10 minutes. Anyways, so yeah, that one, my voice has yet to be used for anything, but they do have it. And I continue trying every day. I look for an audition, I audition, I look for somebody's thing, and I'm like, hey, I have a voice, I want to be heard. And yeah, I'm still going. Yeah, I've even, when Ruby came out, who is in my driveway? One sec. Okay, it wasn't anything important. Anyways, so, yeah, what was I saying? So, yeah. I remember now. So, yeah, the two things I've been in so far, I can't talk about. And I've been trying for more roles. One sec. I've been trying for more roles, but it seems like there's just way too much competition for now. I mean, maybe it's just that they don't need my voice for the certain character. I mean, that happens a lot. Especially in voiceover. But, yeah. That's why I do my own stuff here. I'm trying to get stuff out so that I can make a demo. And you'll probably be seeing a fake demo. And then in my private playlist, I'll be making an actual demo to give to people. But, yeah. So in my quest to become a voice actor, I've gotten in contact with several different voice actors and friended them on Facebook. I've keep up with them social media wise. I've been recognized by a couple at other conventions without having my name tag showing. So, I mean, that was cool. I was like, oh, hey, he remembers me. That's awesome. I'll keep their names out of this just for, safety reason, whatever. That way people can't be like, hey, do you know this guy? Can you get me in with them? I know voice actors deal with that a lot. And I, too, went through that phase of being the, hey, you know this person, can you get me into this? Or I've even asked other voice actors, hey, do you know any kind of like thing coming out that my voice might work for? And I know now that is not something you do. That is bad. Also, if you don't like a certain dub, like the voice or the choice of voice, it's not the actor's fault. it's it's likely the director, but I mean, don't go pointing fingers at them either, because as I've learned, a lot of the time it's even the creator will come in and be like, yes, I like that voice. I want that voice to be this person. That voice is what I hear when I think this person. I've been told all kinds of different stories and stuff like that, and it was pretty cool. And how that just happens with dubs, unfortunately. I mean, it's not like they can get the Seiyu to learn English and pump it out in exactly the same way. That being said, I'm trying to learn Japanese so that I could do something like that if need be. Though likely, yeah, they're never gonna ask me. Yeah, I do remember an email I got when I was just starting out in trying to be a voice actor. Really dampened my spirits. Basically, it was one of those where I asked, hey, do you know of anything coming out that I could audition for? Stuff like that. And I didn't really know this actor very well. We had only emailed twice. And at the time, I guess it was kind of stalkerish of me to find their email and email them. But the way they put it in the email felt devastating to me, because they said, why should I tell you about a job opportunity that I myself am looking for and in need of? And like, of course that's summing it up really easily, but it was a little bit harsher than that. It was more of a, why should I stick my neck out for you? I don't even know you, blah blah blah. But yeah, I felt really bad after that one. So yeah, I will continue to keep moving forward. Strive to become a better actor. And do what I can to make my dream come true. I mean, I don't know. I've forgotten where I was going. Oh well. I guess I could talk about my stage history. So, I used to go to a local theater where they had a summer camp for children, where it was like for 2 months, everybody would stay there every week, rehearse, learn how to paint backdrops, how to build things, how to properly put on costume, makeup, etc. And those were pretty fun. The first play that we put on from it was, it had various scenes. There was like, we were supposed to be hamsters in one, and then there was another where it was the guards in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where it's like, oh, I thought you meant to guard him. Oh yeah, that sounds silly now that I think about it. And Yeah, there were just different things like that. And the next time it was a bunch of different, well, not a bunch of different, but the subsequent years it was like Disney Junior stuff or Willy Wonka Jr. And my director, I still know personally. I enjoy working with her. Though I haven't been in any of her stuff for 4, 5, 6 years now. I feel old when I say it that way, but even though I'm still pretty young as most people go. And I do hear that a lot also. It's like, you're still young, you have plenty of time, but I'm in that age gap where it's like, no, I gotta get everything done now so that later on down the road I can, have everything easy street. Quote unquote easy street. Nothing is easy street once you become an adult. It's like this GIF I saw on Facebook where it's like, I used to dream about being adult so I could have my own this. And then it shows like a SpongeBob SquarePants character that looks really upset in his car, at his job, at his work. And it's like, now I understand what all those jokes were about as a cartoon. In cartoons when I was a kid. It was the reply on there. I was like, yeah, that definitely so. But yeah, a big part of the whole mentality of, I gotta do stuff now, I gotta get it now, I want to do it now, is the whole, I look at other people my age, and yes, it's a vast minority of people my age, but I look at other people my age, and they're like super trending millionaires, basically. Or 100,000-aires, anyways. Or I take a look at people that they're near my age, and I'm like, where were they at this point? Okay, wow, I'm way behind. Yeah, and it just kind of depresses me that I'm not getting more done, but whatever. So yeah, I'm not gonna think about that, and I'm just going to continue. Anyways, so yeah, that was a lot of my childhood was doing those summer camp ones, and as a kid getting upset that I didn't get the role that I wanted, obviously. Sometimes it was like, hey, we have a new taller kid, and they get the tall kid part. Or we have a skinnier male that could work for this role, and it's like, oh. And I will admit now, as a kid, I was incredibly upset at some choices where characters that were traditionally male were turned female, and I got upset because I wanted those roles. But because of my size, I just couldn't do them. The one I'm still very confused as to why I didn't get to, other than, never mind. I'm not going to focus on negativity. Positivity! That's what the second half of the year needs. Positivity. Everything's starting to go good. Everything's starting to go right. Even though everything's incredibly boring and I can't really do much now, but whatever. That's personal life. I'm not going to talk about it. Go focus on positives. Positives are, I'm on a site called Casting Call Club, and I'm looking for stuff that I think I would fit. Though I really need to stop auditioning for just one and stopping and waiting to see how that turns out, just because I feel like I don't want to overwhelm myself if I get the role, but that also means that because I didn't audition for those other things, I miss out on the opportunity, and you don't get the opportunities that you aim for. You miss all the opportunities you don't go for. And so, because I only go for one at a time, I miss out on a bunch of others that could work, while the one I want doesn't. But, that's life, and I'm going to have to get through that. It's just really hard to do when you're OCD and Asperger, or in an Aspie, rather. But, again, hey, that's life. Life's unfair, and you're going to have to deal with the cards that you've been dealt. So, just persevere. Hope that you can do what you want. And never stop aiming for your dreams, basically. So I'm going to keep doing that. Outside of musicals, I got into regular plays at the same local theater. And it was kind of funny. My father and I were actually in a a play where I was cast as the older brother of my father's character. But they made my father's character a special needs character, which was kind of funny because I technically special needs in my state, though I don't take advantage of the social work stuff that could come in handy due to that. But yeah, funny story. The play was To Kill a Mockingbird. My father was Boo Radley, and I was the other Radley. I think Nathan Radley is his name. Anyways, so the director of that decided that they needed more people for the mob scene in one of the parts, so everybody had to put on white pillowcases with holes cut into them and pretend to be part of a big racist mob. And this was like the second or third show, and I told my dad, because I had eaten something before the play and I was not feeling good. I went out, did my Nathan Radley part, and left. And then I was sitting down with the other actors, and up came the mob part. And I was like, I don't feel good. I don't think I should go out right now. And they were like, no, it's fine. You can do it. Come on, the show must go on. And I was like, all right. I got into makeup, put the hood on, went out there, rabble, rabble, rabble. Oh no, I don't feel good. And during the scene, I upchucked in the hood. I was the only one with the brown hood up there. It came out of the hood onto some of my costume, onto the stage. I felt really bad, both physically and emotionally. And luckily, I had some great actors to play off. They pretended like my character in that mob scene was drunk and took me home, basically, quote unquote. They took me backstage. I pull off the pillowcase and I start to head downstairs to where all the actors are, because this theater has everybody in the basement, which is below the stage, and you can't hear anything through there, usually, unless you're really loud. So I start going downstairs, and I upchuck again, and it misses every stair down, hits the floor of the basement, and splashes the germaphobe. We had a germaphobe in the play, actual germaphobe, and she started freaking out. I felt so bad. I still feel bad about it. And if you somehow are listening to this and know who you are, I'm still so sorry. It's fun to look back at and laugh now, right, though? Huh? Maybe? I hope? But yeah, I went out the back door, sat in my dad's car with the air conditioning on, and just waited for the rest of the play to be over. When I woke up, my dad was like, "You missed the bows." And I was like, "I'm not going out for the bows. I don't feel good. I've puked 2 more times since coming out." And he was like, "Oh, was it something you ate?" I was like, "I don't know, maybe." So that went well. I found out later that one of the stagehands, who's the sweetest lady, ended up having to clean it, and I felt really bad about that too. And as it turned out, it took longer than expected to clean it, and she was out there while they had to act around her as she was cleaning the stage. And I mean, supposedly everybody thought it was just part of the play. So that was good. Later on, I apologized to everybody, and they're like, "Oh, it's alright." But, of course, when you're in a play, of course you're going to be like, "Oh, no, it's alright, it's fine." When you're trying to be passive-aggressive, that is, and you're like, "Oh, no, yeah, it's fine, yeah, it's fine. I'm fine. Yeah, totally, it's fine that you puked all over me. Oh, it's fine that you puked on stage and made us have to clean the stage while the rest of the play was going on." But yeah, I still feel bad about those. I was in some high school musicals and plays. I did both drama and theater. And the plays I was in were pretty good. I enjoyed those. I got cast in parts that weren't, normally me. And I enjoyed that. I got to be characters that I wasn't always the kind of character. And yeah, that was really fun. I got to be Dr. Chumley from why can't I think of the name of it? Harvey is the name of it, which is an old black and white film, but it's also a play about a man that sees an invisible giant rabbit. He sees it, he believes it's there, everybody else thinks he's just crazy. Things happen that make people start to doubt that he is crazy. It's really fun. I got to be Dr. Chumley, who's just, he starts out kind of this, "How can I help you?" kind of person, and then he quickly becomes this conniving, like, "I gotta get this rabbit for myself. Oh." And that was fun. My drama teacher actually liked my idea of being a voice actor and helped me towards it. Gave me some vocal acting lessons as well. That was very nice of her. I keep drinking water. I'm sorry. It's a podcast. It happens. Honestly, I didn't think I had 10 minutes worth of content, much less 45. But yeah. So that was fun. And eventually, got into college. There was no theater at this college, so I thought, I'll just focus on schooling. Got back from college. Had a job. Couldn't work around the job to get... Couldn't work around the job to get to the theater. Man. I'm very gassy. I don't know why I just said that. So I just didn't. But yeah, I'm still trying voice acting. If anybody needs a voice, let me know. That'd be very awesome to get my voice out there. And yes, I know the whole, big thing right now is exposure is not a valid payment. And I'm one of those actors where it's like, yeah, but I kind of need exposure right now so that people will know that I'm out there. So that I can actually get the parts that I want, and then I'll go for the money. And it's a really big thing right now. It's like, oh, people are losing their jobs because everybody expects them to just do it for the exposure. And I too have been one of those people that are like, oh, exposure, please. Please do this for exposure. And it's not just acting, it's art as well. But, yeah, and that's just because, not really a good time to be using money all the time until you save up enough, and then, but yeah, even then. Anyways, enough of financial problems. Support my Patreon. No, I don't have a Patreon. Should I do a Patreon? I don't know. What do all 2 viewers of you think? It's not like I get a ton of people watching. Maybe Renoa might watch. If you're watching, hey Renoa, nice to see you're here. You have 5 times the subscriber count as I do. More than that, I believe, actually. I've thought about doing Ruby stuff. I'm working on a fanfic that is OCAU, meaning original character, alternate universe, that I want to get turned into an actual series. I've emailed Miles and Carrie, as well as Rooster Teeth, and asked them about this multiple times with no answer. So I'm still working on it. I'm putting it out on the Ruby and Ruby OC Aminos. Yes, that's right. I use Amino, which is a mobile phone app where you can meet with other people that share your interests online and talk about it. Share your art, share your stories, talk about who's the best shipping, basically, stuff like that. And there's not just Ruby, it's there's all kinds of stuff. Supernatural, Miraculous Ladybug, comic dubs, voice acting, Devil May Cry, you pretty much you name it, it's there. Law of Talos, which I think died 6 years ago, but somebody made an amino and I found it and I was like, whoa, somebody made an amino of this very obscure thing that hasn't been, actually it's been 8 years. Holy crap, I'm old. No, I'm not old. But yeah, Law of Talos hasn't really had anything happen for 8 years, probably because it's a original character tournament and it's been over. Yeah. Sale. No, I never know how to end these things, right? Oh, well, you unscrew your pommel and throw it at them. And if you get that joke, you obviously either study swordsmanship or know of either the Metatron, Scalagrim, or Shadiversity. I love watching Shad's videos, because every time, Shadiversity. Greetings, I'm Shad. Today... But yeah, the Metatron I've only seen a couple of videos of. And Skullagrim, I just like to watch his content whenever he's talking about like the validity of a weapon or shows off the power of a weapon. Which apparently YouTube is like, oh, we can't have that anymore. We're not going to monetize those, so they've gone to Patreon. It really seems like YouTube is losing a lot of people to Patreon and Twitch nowadays. But I digress. Anyways, I have things coming out where it's like, oh, hey, this is this character. It's Jin from Yu Yu Hakusho. Or, it's just a guy that's desperate to save his love, or stuff like that. But, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. I've recorded a bunch. Trying to make a unofficial demo so that I can actually put it out there and be like, hey, this is me. Because a lot of people want a demo instead of audition. And it really hurts because I'm like, I don't have one. And they're like, then make one. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to put on there. So I just recorded a whole bunch of different things, and I'm just going to make a 1 to 2 minute video thing on YouTube that I can share and be like, hey, here you go. Pardon me. So, yeah. And then, of course, I've got my YouTube channel that I can show off to people and be like, this is me, this is what I do. I play video games and talk over them. And then sometimes I take clips and talk over those and be like, this is my interpretation of this scene. Or this is me just trying to hit a voice. Stuff like that. I probably have a long way to go. I take acting workshops when I can. But they're expensive. They are expensive, especially online. And you gotta have the time. And currently I don't have the time to do that kind of stuff. Which, with uploading Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I've started having more time. It's just working around my work schedule now. But, yeah. Anyways, channel shoutouts. Because I doubt anyone's ever going to see this stuff. I'm just going to give a bunch of shoutouts right now. 666, the Heartless 666. Great guy. Love his content. He hasn't uploaded in a few years now. Really miss him, but according to Zero, who's a YouTube animator, very good guy, Steve is doing fine, according to him. And that was like a tweet conversation a couple months ago. Maybe even a year ago. Anyways, but August Girl, his fiance, still posts on Twitter, so I assume they're doing alright. Searching for Renoa. He's a funny guy. We make a lot of the same jokes. Whenever I'm watching his stuff, I'll be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then as I'm saying it, he says it too. And I'm like, oh, we're so in sync. That is awesome. If you're listening, Renoa, I'd love to do a collab sometime if you have time. I know you're busy as well. I know there's a bit of an age gap as well, so it's not that big of an age gap. I mean, Danny Sexbang and I don't know why I always call him Danny Sexbang. It's probably just because that's how I know him most. Just like Aaron Hansen is Eoraptor to me still. But Danny and Aaron are years apart and they get along fine, so we'd probably get along fine. I mean, we both have a similar style of comedy. And we know similar references. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, I'd like to collab sometime. Who else? KZ Excellent. Dude, you gotta stop playing JRPGs that I really want to play. I want to watch your content, but if you're playing stuff that I want to play and not get spoiled on, I can't watch it. And unfortunately, I probably won't be able to watch it for a while because JRPGs are time consuming. And that's one thing I've thought about doing, actually. Go cut the shout outs for a second. I've thought about getting a new computer and live streaming me playing through JRPGs. I have the entire Wise saga to get through. I've got a few Game Boy JRPGs to get through. I've got Tales of Vesperia and Bergia and Zenithia and all the Tales series to get through. Valkyrie Profile, or not Valkyrie Profile, Valkyria. Valkyria Chronicles. But yeah, I've thought about just live streaming where it's like, I just take a day out of my day off. I take a few hours to play through a JRPG. I can do the Final Fantasy series as well. The Steam release stuff. Same with Disgaea. I love those games. I can play them multiple times. Disgaea I've not yet beat, though. So I may use a walkthrough. I know HC Bailey. That's another channel shout out. HC Bailey. Very comprehensive guides on how to play through a JRPG and get, like, basically the best stuff. Usually. Sometimes he goes back through and it's like, let's replay this and show off this. Or no, I'm thinking Kakaskia does replays. HC Bailey does his research, though, very well. I have Wild Arms to do. I have Xeno Gears to do. Not Saga, because Xenosaga is not yet on PC. I say yet because there's a petition going on. Anyways, I've got tons of JRPGs. I can even do, like, the roguelike RPGs, like Zetai Hero Project, Unlosing Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man. And yes, that is the entire title is ZHP Unlosing Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man. It's a very long title. So yeah, HC Bailey, very comprehensive guides. Kakaskia, similar to HC Bailey, he's got very comprehensive guides, but he doesn't usually do RPGs. He has recently. And I know he does some in the past, but they're usually like D&D kind of stuff, which it's pretty fun to watch him. He usually knows what he's doing. It seems like he's got himself very composed, not at all frustrated. He's done a few platformers, some shooters, stuff like that. Very cool guy. Who else do I watch that doesn't get enough love? Kenny Lauderdale. If you don't know about him, he does anime stuff, not often, but he talks about old anime, how they work, stuff like that. And if you want a channel shout out in the future to all two of my viewers, just let me know in the comments. I'll take a look at your channel. If I like it, I will post something in the next podcast. Be like, hey, check out this person's channel. They do this, and they're pretty cool. They do this stuff that I like, etc. For instance, I like my channel because I play through things. I'm decently adequate at them. I'm not, like, lost forever, though I sometimes am. And I also do voices whenever I'm reading, especially in RPGs, and that's why I'm thinking I should focus on RPGs. But I love horror games also. So, yeah. Anyways, that's stuff for future reference. Anyways, I'm guessing I'm just going to end my podcast. So, yeah. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and like and share if you enjoy. Click the bell to be alerted when the party starts. And, I screwed up. Click the bell to be notified when the party starts, and don't forget to subscribe to become a part of the Panda Party, because there ain't no party like a Panda Party, because Panda Party don't stop. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.